Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Mrs. B. If you're new, my channel is about simple recipes so you can just get home from work, cook something up, and relax. And not have to eat fast food. Basically, everything I get is from Walmart, because it's affordable. And I want to show you guys how to make fried pork chops today. And I'm going to add a piece of bacon around it before I bread it to just experiment. So it will surprise my family when they cut into the meat and they find bacon because my family loves bacon. I'm going to start off with 3 pieces of pork chop, and we buy the pork loin that's about $8-9, and then we slice it. Some of this pork is what I used in my beans the other day when I added it to the channel. So check it out if you haven't seen it. And then what I'm gonna do is and I cut it about this thick, okay, and I'm gonna wrap the bacon around it like so. And whenever you touch meat, you gotta make sure you wash your hands quite a bit if you're new in the kitchen. That's so important. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, you can basically use any kind of flour. I use what I have in my household. Today it's flour. I'm going to use baking flour. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. And then my husband likes the buttermilk enriched cornmeal, okay? And if you ever walk by all these bags in the store and you're like, oh my God, what are all these bags? What do people actually do with this? This is what we do with it. We just take a little bit. We're going to put it inside the bowl, okay? So I got flour and buttermilk, okay? Cornmeal in there. About half a bowl so far. And then I'm going to take I love Italian breadcrumbs. I use them about all my breading. And I'm just going to layer the top layer of the buttermilk, like so. And the Italian breadcrumbs, the same stuff that I use in the meatball recipe. A little bit of seasoning salt. You know how much salt you like. And then nature seasoning, my husband's favorite. Has a little bit of everything. You just sprinkle a little bit in there. And then what I'm going to do is mix it up. So it just blends together. Then I'm going to take an egg. I'm going to crack it into the bowl. I'm going to get a fork. I'm going to mix it up like so, like you're making scrambled eggs. The only thing is missing is the milk, right? When you're making scrambled eggs. And some people do it without milk. No right or wrong. All right. So now what I'm going to do is take the pork chop that's wrapped in my bacon, okay, that you don't have to do. You can just take a pork chop. And like I said, I'm going to experiment while I'm filming. I'm just going to dip it into my egg. And then I'm going to put it into the powder, the flour, the cornmeal, the Italian breadcrumbs, and pack it on there. Now, some people double bread stuff. I've tried to do that, where you dip it again in the egg and then you bread it some more. You can do that. I'm not going to do that right now. And then I'm going to set it on a plate. Like so. grab another one. My daughter's eating at church tonight. And they say to have one wet hand and one dry hand when you're doing this. It just makes life easier for you with the mess control. And then one more. I'm telling you that pork loin at Walmart, it will feed a family of, well, at least 3 meals. Depends how many people are in your family. Ours 4, so it does about 3 meals. But if you're single and you buy that pork loin and just cut it up the first day you get it, it's just going to make your life a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Okay. And if you feel like you need a little bit more, just put a dash right there. Pack it on there, let it stay like that. Alright, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my potatoes ready. I'm making baked potatoes. So just 3 potatoes for this family. I'm going to poke a little hole onto the top of it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set them in the microwave because that's how I'm going to cook them. Remember, simple cooking. And then I'm going to take my can of corn, pop it open. Just buy a can of corn. Drain it at the sink. Stick it in the bowl. Grab yourself some butter. And have your butter and corn set aside. That's going to go in the microwave last. And I'm going to go ahead and get the oven ready. Now I'm letting the pan heat up. I turn it on medium. I'm going to take my oil, vegetable oil, and I'm going to pour enough to cover the bottom of the pan. Like so. You don't want too much or your food will be really greasy. And we're just going to sit here and wait for it to warm up. And then once it warms up, we're going to put 1 piece in at a time of the pork chop. And we're going to let it cook till it gets like a golden brown around the edges. And then I'm going to flip it over and let that get like a golden brown. Now, some people brown their stuff on the stove and then they bake it in the oven the rest of the way because you've trapped the juices on the inside. Same thing when you cook your meat on high in the oven and then you turn it down at some point. You just want to trap the juices of the meat on the inside. It's starting to sizzle. So I'm going to take my piece and lay it inside. You'll start to hear the sizzling. Don't get popped by the grease. That's why it's good to have an apron on. And I got my other Copper Chef pan that is perfect for frying some food too. They say you don't have to use butter or grease in these pans. I still like to because it gives it the flavor, but just a little bit. I'll show you guys. I'm going to pause this video while it's frying a little bit to save your time and mine. Hi everybody. It took about 10 minutes and you just flip them over and they become a really pretty golden brown. I'm letting the other side get nice and crisp, and then I'll turn it down, just let it cook and let the heat just cook the insides a little bit better and keep it juicy. Remember just to stay with it when you're frying food. Grease can splatter off onto the stove top and cause a fire. So you just want to stay with when you're frying food. I did want to tell everybody though that if you don't feel like breading one night, all you have to do is put a little butter into the pan, and then just put your pork chops in there and just flip them over when they start to get golden brown. That's without the breading, in case you're watching some calories. All right, I'm going to let this cook a little bit longer. Okay, so they have golden brown on both sides. So this is where I like to flip them maybe a time or two, just to make sure that they stay juicy on the outside as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn the heat down to low. You could put a lid on it. I'm just going to let it cook slowly on low. In the meantime, you're at a point where you can go ahead and start making your corn and your baked potatoes and get them ready on the plate. By that time, the meat should be done, so you can rest for the day. So I have the baked potatoes that I put in the oven with a little slit in it, and most microwaves have a baked potato button. If you've never used yours, you just push it 1, 2, 3 times, and sometimes they start on their own, or you just hit start, okay? Once this is done, I'm going to go ahead and just put the corn in with a little bit of butter for 60 seconds. And if you want to make it look like a fancy meal that you slaved all day on, take a bun and just sit it on the side. Just like restaurant style buns you can get at Walmart for $2. This is going to go for about 10 minutes. So that's about 10 minutes that the pork chops are going to just cook on low. Okay, so the meat is done. And I did put a lid on it just to cook the steam in it. And I cut one piece in half to check to see if it was fully cooked. And if you look, this was the final outcome of what they look like whole. And by this time, the potatoes are done, so I'm going to grab one out of the microwave. Be careful, they could be hot. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my corn in so you can see. You just need 1 minute. While that's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my potato. Open it up, let the steam come out. I'm going to grab just a little bit of butter, put it into the potato, like so. 1 second. That's better. Thought I had a little smudge. So I put a little butter in the potato, and I'm going to grab some sour cream, just a little bit. And then to fancy it up, I bought something different from Walmart. Smoky bacon cheddar. Okay? Some people like cheese on the potato, so I put a little bit right here. As soon as I do that, guess what? It's done. So I'm going to grab my corn out, and I'm going to use my butter spoon, and I'm going to mix up the corn, add a little bit more butter to it, so it's just fresh butter on top. Put some on the plate. Add my roe. And there you have it. Pork chop dinner. Now, let's cut into it to see how it tastes. Before I do, God bless this food, which now we take and do is good for Jesus' sake. Amen. Cut a little piece off. Ooh, I got a piece of that bacon with it. Let's try it. Want to see it? Yeah, the bacon's so worth wrapping around it. Just remember, let it fry really good, go to brown around the edges, and then flip it over. Guys, this is Mrs. B. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope this is helping someone out there learn how to cook fresh meals in their own home the simple way. You don't have to use 3 kinds of flours. You can just do without flour too and make a meal like this. So bake yourself a potato, some corn, and a fresh roe. And this will do your body much better than some McDonald's or Burger King. Bye, guys.